This animal mobs cobras. It bites the stinger from a scorpion before it eats the rest. It drives jackals back from a hole in the ground by standing in a line and screaming. It is also one of the least tolerant mammals on the plain. Rival groups are attacked on sight. Pups belonging to a neighboring clan are killed. And at dusk, this same animal steps aside and lets a completely different species walk down its tunnel and sleep beside it. Nothing about this looks like a favor. It is not one. The Kalahari gives nothing away above ground. Heat, open sky and grass, too thin to hide anything larger than a beetle. Everything that survives here survives underground. The entrance is no wider than a hand. Below it, the system runs down past the point where the temperature stops changing. It spreads sideways for tens of meters. Dozens of mouths, sleeping chambers off the main runs. Separate tunnels kept clear for escape. At every entrance, a fan of loose sand spreads out into the grass. That sand is the receipt. Sand is not stone. It slumps. A fresh tunnel closes on itself within a season, unless something keeps opening it. Keeping it open takes hours. Hours spent facing down, 4 feet working, spine curled into the dark. Those are hours not spent hunting. And the whole time, someone has to be looking up. One animal climbs the nearest mound and turns slowly, scanning. It eats nothing while it does this. The rest of the group feeds with their heads buried, blind, deaf and completely exposed. An hour before the light goes, another animal comes across the pan toward the same hole. It is not a meerkat. It is heavier through the shoulders and shorter in the leg, sand-colored. A white stripe runs from the shoulder to the hip. The tail is flat and grey and carried up over the back like a shade. A Cape Ground Squirrel. It doesn't hesitate at the entrance. It has been here before. The squirrel is built for one job. The 4 feet are broad. The claws are curved and blunt from use. The ears sit low and almost flat against the skull, so sand runs past them instead of into them. By first light it is working. Sand comes up in short bursts, thrown back under the belly, kicked clear by the hind feet. The fan at the mouth grows wider. In many of these systems, the deepest tunnels were not dug by meerkats at all. They were inherited. Above ground, the arrangement changes shape. Meerkats and ground squirrels feed on the same patch of ground at the same hour, sometimes within a body length of each other. Neither drives the other off. One meerkat holds the mound. One squirrel sits upright 20 paces out. One squirrel watches nothing at all, feeding with its head down. The sky is covered from 3 points instead of 1. In many observations, a meerkat drops flat to a squirrel's alarm as fast as it does to its own. The reason the arrangement holds is in what each animal eats. The meerkat digs for beetle larvae, scorpions, and small lizards. It finds them by smell, a hand's depth down. It eats them where it stands. The squirrel eats bulbs, seeds, and roots. It sits back on its haunches to work them over with its 4 paws. Two animals on the same 100 meters of sand. Two entirely separate food supplies. There is nothing to take, so nothing is taken. Late morning. The heat begins to lift the air off the pan. A shadow crosses the ground ahead of the thing that makes it. Wings held flat and open. More than 2 meters from tip to tip. A martial eagle hunting low. Below it, a meerkat pup that would sit inside a cupped hand has wandered 10 paces past the last mound. The alarm does not come from a meerkat. It comes from a squirrel. Everything in the open runs for the nearest mouth. Both species, same holes. Underground, the dark is full of bodies that are not related to each other. Meerkats pressed against meerkats. Squirrels a body length further along the tunnel. Nobody moves toward anybody. The eagle sits on a dead camel thorn for 40 minutes and then leaves. The first head back out is a squirrel's. It holds still at the mouth, turning for a long time before the rest follow. The shaking stops. The tails come down. The heads turn back toward the sun. None of this is affection. A meerkat will chase a squirrel off a good patch of ground when the food is thin. A squirrel will take over an entrance and hold it. There are days when one species digs a plug of sand into a tunnel the other is using. And a shared burrow shares everything else in it. Fleas move between the two. So do ticks, and whatever the ticks are carrying. The arrangement is not free. It is only cheaper than the alternative. On the open pan, safety is rarely something an animal builds by itself. It is borrowed from ground that somebody else opened. From eyes that are watching for their own reasons and happen to be pointed at the same sky. the light goes. The sand cools and stops moving.